film smashing it out the park. We'll talk to Elizabeth about that film later.
I don't like traffic. Right, we're back. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a pretty quiet few months. Not a great deal going on with the car. I've moved house. We no longer have the awesome garage where all the work's been done today. More on that in another video. But I'm settled in. The car is now back together and working. And yeah, we're back. Thought we'd try and pick up where we left off. Yeah, welcome back. If you're still here. If you're new to the channel, I strongly suggest looking back at some previous videos because this will not be the most interesting. Right now it is 7:30 and I need coffee. So I'll see you in a minute.
Hi, welcome to Crystal.
There's always one person at the drive-thru that gets it toasty and makes everyone else wait. Thank you very much. As you can probably tell from the hat and hoodie, it's now winter, but we're getting somewhere at last. So I'll let you guys watch the video and I will see you again at the end. Today's video is not one I wanted to have to make. Unfortunately, right after I went out for a really good drive testing out the new Gas Gold rear coilovers, I actually managed to destroy the gearbox on the way home. Had a really good drive, filmed a load of stuff, turned all the cameras off and just thought I'd go for a bit of a blast, head home. And on the way back, on a rip at about 30 psi in fourth gear, I managed to rip all the teeth off fourth gear. I'm not going to put another one in because O2Ms very famously have a weak fourth gear, tends to get destroyed if you have too much torque. So 30 psi is probably somewhere in the region of 450 foot-pounds. It's obviously not gone down too well. So we're going to be ordering a 3 to 6, so that's third to sixth gear synchro kit from Monster Performance in Bulgaria, which I'm really looking forward to. It's a semi-helical gear set, motorsport based gear set with a much bigger teeth. I'll put some pictures up now for you to have a look. As you can see, the teeth are way bigger than the standard gear, which is on the right, and that's the motorsport gear on the left. Very similar ratios, but we're going to change the final drive whilst it's all apart. So I've got to get the gearbox out now, and then I've got to get that over to Martin at Gas and Gears in Bridgend. Once the gear set arrives, Martin's going to rebuild the box and then hopefully we'll be back together. Just a bit of a shame really because it was going so well. But yeah, a couple of people have said they're surprised it lasted as long as it did. So hey, it's one of those things. Let's get it out and let's get it fixed. Oh, isn't it nice when a plan works? And it's out. Right, that was not easy, but the box is out. I never want to do another one of them on my own ever again. One gearbox out. Pretty epic signs of fluid leakage. I've suspected I've had a weeping crank seal for a while, but it's kind of it's everywhere. It's in here, it's up on the shelf in here. I come and look in here, don't know if you can see, it's mega wet up there. Then you come back around here and you look up to where the crank main seal is. It does look a bit wet in there, so I'm inclined to think it is the crank main seal. Weirdly though, actual flywheel and clutch, not a speck of oil on them, which I find really strange, but oil coated on everything else, and it's been throwing it up out of the at the top of the flywheel breather as well. So there's been a lot of oil floating around here. Yeah, not sure what's going on with the oil everywhere, but we'll get to the bottom of it, I'm sure. Right then, next stop, take the gearbox to Gas and Gears. See Martin. Trip to Wales and back tomorrow. At least I don't have to pay for the bridge, hey? I don't know what I'm doing. We all know that. Morning guys. I'm in the truck today. It's 5:30 in the morning, 29th of June. Gives you an idea of how long it might take me to edit these things. And last Sunday, out for a drive, I blew the that didn't work, did it? The car was feeling really good. Now, every time I turn a corner, let's try a new approach, shall we? Camera's on a spin. I'm really not doing too well this morning. Oh well, should make some good outtakes for Rainbird. So yeah, last Sunday, out on a drive, 30 psi, 4th gear, no longer wanted to be 4th gear, so we decided we had a 4-speed gearbox. So a bit of a shame, but these things happen. Got the gearbox out yesterday, had a chance of the day off work, so I took it, and today we are off to Gas and Gears in Bridgend. Now I recently sold my daily driver, nice 530D I had, so I've got a bit of money in a pot that was set aside for racing, and that is now going to go on a gearbox. Bit of a shame, but you can't race a car without a gearbox, so that's where it's going to go. I'm not sure this is actually coming out well, so I think I'm just going to wrap this one up for the minute and I might chat again in a bit. So, the gearbox. It's gone off to Gas and Gears in South Wales. Gas and Gears is run by Martin. What Martin doesn't know about VW transmissions is not worth knowing. So Martin did the last gearbox as well, which, all credit to it, lasted a lot longer than anyone expected. It was only the fact that it was on a standard gear set, it was always on borrowed time, so we weren't too surprised when that finally called time on us. But we've got a plan. Got a very exciting new gear set going into this gearbox. Got a couple of other mods going on as well. So we're changing the final drives to a 4-wheel drive final drive, which changes it from I think a 3.8 to a 4.1 on the 1st to 4th gear, and then the 5th and 6th gear final drive is being changed from a 3.1 to a 3.3. So we're going around 10% shorter on all the gears. So it brings the theoretical top speed down from 205 to 181. So capping the top speed slightly, but 180 is still more than enough, and it should make the car more lively all the way through the gears. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works out. Whilst it's apart, we're also having a through bolt strengthening mod. Basically 2 EN24 shafts that run the whole way through the gearbox, and they basically clamp the casing together to try and eliminate the damage caused by the side loading of helical gears. So the new gear set is still synchro based. I didn't want to go for a dog gearbox because the car still does see road use, but it's a proper motorsport gear set, much bigger gears, much stronger, and hopefully it's going to make a cool noise as well. Sunday morning, 9:43. We are going to try and get an O2M back into the car. I've got Lukey here to help because with the pit being 6 foot deep, you've got to get an O2M about 7 feet up in the air, and that is not easy. So we'll see how we get on. See you in a bit. This is weird talking to someone else.
Oh, you haven't got your hat on?
I haven't got my hat on. I'm being told off by my cameraman. Whoop. Team Prawn Racing in a wet and miserable garage. So last night, Lukey and I, Lukey, show yourself.
Hello.
Ta-da! Lukey and I went to Wales, picked up one gearbox, which is all very lovely. Come out here this morning, ready to get it back in the car, finally, after a 3-month wait, and we've already hit our first issue. So the new mod Martin's done to the gearbox, he's added a through bolt setup. What he's done is put a plate in here. Welded to this plate in the centre of the 2 shafts is an EN24T rod, which is threaded. If we come to the other end of the box, you've got a retaining plate here, which these rods come through to and bolt to. So that stops any side loading on the shafts from the input shaft pushing this way by bolting the whole lot together and sandwiching the case together. That's all very well, except just come to measure up my clutch depth just to make sure we're not going to have any issues. When we put the straight edge across there and measure in to this new plate Mark's added, we get, I don't know if you can read that, we get 89.5 mil. Now the problem we've got, we've just gone to do a double check on the clutch, and we put a straight edge on the pressure plate of the clutch, dip back into the block mounting face, we get 91.5 mil. So the clutch is currently deeper than the space it needs to occupy by 2 mil. So Mowgli and I had a few ideas, didn't come up with anything useful whatsoever. Quick phone call to Nige, who I think sat in McDonald's in Belgium somewhere. What we're going to do, put a plate which is minus 16 mil. That is 3, it's just got a bit of powder coat on it. And that is big enough to make a full size spacer. And this is going in today. We're going to pop the box over the edge of the pit so I can use and make a template with the drive cup hanging down into the pit. Draw around it, cut it out, cut the inside out. That'll make a 3 mil spacer to bring the whole box 3 mil off. That seemed like a much easier idea than trying to get washers in, which was just never going to happen, was it? Because I've got fat fingers. I'll take a few key points, mark the thickness so I know what thickness I need, because the hole in the centre is going to have to be big enough for this to slide over the flywheel. But we'll get it all cut out, and then we'll see where we go from there. Well, I hadn't expected to be doing this today.
You'll have a bit of fabrication work though.
I guess. It's like it when it's planned. I want to mark the bolt holes ideally. That's not going to mark that very centrally at all.
Put,
I guess these can be marked once it's on, can't they?
yeah. Put, yeah, a line by this, roughly the centre. That'll help lining up and things, won't it?
Hopefully, yeah. Some of these I can get a nice centre mark actually. Right, should we pop that off and see what we've got?
Change of plan, folks. Grinder's too difficult. Now time for the jigsaw.
He's an idiot, isn't he? He watched me cut all this with a grinder and then went, oh, you could use a jigsaw.
Have you got any clamps?
Yes.
Just clamp it to the bench.
I just need to keep moving it, that's a problem.
Are they quick clamps?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an idea.
Is it going to be quicker to do the straight lines with the grinder?
Oh, maybe.
I think so. Straighter bits with the grinder, and then sometime later, about an hour, we have the vague beginnings of a gearbox spacer. So that will drop on there, much like the standard one that's already on the car. This is only rough cut at the moment because obviously it's very hard to get the profile inside, so I've measured a few depths, transferred them onto here, cut it out roughly. Not a bad start. So that all lines up like so. So I'm just going to measure inside a few of these bits now, mark inside them, and then we will cut them out. I'll mark it here, but I doubt I'll take any more of that off. I'll take the lid of the pen off because that extra bit's causing me issues. This is where I really wanted to get to. Interesting, there's a big old dimple in there. I might have marked that 1,000 times, but
That's
an
right.
idea what we need to do. Not bad. A little bit to shave out there with a flap wheel, a little bit to jigsaw out there. Otherwise, I think we're pretty good. So I still say so too much. Update. Gearbox is in. I think I might kill everyone apart from Mowgli. But yeah, it's in. What a job. O2Ms are disgusting. So heavy, and the bell housing and the diff is so big. It's in. It's hung on its mount again. Bar is now doing nothing. I wasn't planning on ceremoniously removing that, but looks like I am. So yeah, box is in. I hate everything. We've turned the engine over on a crank with a spanner, and the clutch cover doesn't appear to be catching anything in the bell housing, so we think the 3mm space has done the job. If it ever comes out again, I might have a mil taken off the back of the flywheel just to ease things a little bit. But yeah, got ancillaries left to do. I don't think we're going to bother doing them tonight. I'm knackered. I think Mowgli's knackered. Yeah, I've had enough basically. So we shall rejoin this when I find the MG to come back out, which might be before Christmas, we'll see. I'm going to be honest, I've got no idea what you will have seen so far. I've had a bit of a rough ride with it, so I've not filmed a great deal the last couple of days, but I think it's back together enough to turn the key. I haven't got the charge pipes on, haven't got the intake on. I never put them on until I've fired it up, made sure it all runs properly. So I'm going to pop the camera on here. We've got the injectors unplugged. We're going to spin it over, make sure all is well. If it spins over and there's no horrendous bangs, then injectors in, turn the key, see if it starts. Just turn it over, see what happens. Well, that sounded alright to me. Let's plug the injectors in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Will it start? Ignition on. We've got 4.5 bar of oil pressure. Ticking over. I am calling that a win. Absolutely filthy, full of crap, but she's running. Now the big question, and you'll find out live with me, does it have a clutch? Moment of truth. Pedal felt okay. Go into gear. That bites quite nicely. You won't see when we move here, but first, reverse, first works. No brakes, don't press the brakes, Nick, you idiot. Second, third, fourth, fifth. You see what I'm doing? I'm just rocking the car each time. Sixth. Guys, got clutch running. 62 psi of oil pressure, so it was 65 a second ago. There you go, it's kind of bouncing. Plenty of oil pressure, oil's warming up, all is warming up. EGT, rich as anything on cold start. That's this one. EGT 250s. Everything is an absolute state in here. The back of the car is full of crap. The front of the car is covered in rubbish. It's running. It's running. Right, next step. Take this rubbish out. Go for a test drive. Wish me luck. Right guys, I don't expect you to hear a great deal, but this is a little demo of the Monster Performance 3rd to 6th Synchro gear set. So we're in first now, just pulling away. Into second, still fairly quiet. Into third, and it sounds incredible. Video there. First test drive was very successful. Absolutely love the noise it makes. So when I was a kid, I had a Mini, I still have it, I had a Mini with a full straight cut gearbox, straight cut drop gears, and it made the most incredible transmission whine. Now with these Monster gears being sort of semi-helicoil, I didn't really expect them to sound like that at all. When I drove out, changed from second to third for the first time and heard that noise, I just had the biggest grin. And I'll be honest, it's been like that every since. Don't need to go fast now, we'll just drive around town in third gear listening to the noise. So yeah, overall really happy with the service from Gas and Gears. Martin pulled out all the stops to build a seriously good gearbox. Thanks to Lukey for the help getting it back in. So it's now in, back up and running. We've got a couple more little suspension tweaks to go through, which I'll cover in another video. But we're back, so hopefully the content's going to keep on coming from here. So if you've liked the video, please like, share and subscribe. And otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one.